Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the live presentation of Hyperautomation for Finance in SAP Cloud. My name is Deneen Stork, and I serve as Director of Technology Alliances Marketing for ABBYY. ABBYY is a digital intelligence company that helps organizational leaders get control over business processes and the documents that drive them. I am coming to you today from New Orleans, Louisiana, where I live and where I've pretty much been since March of 2020. And I hope we find you today and those in your work and personal life well, wherever you may be. They've entrusted me to facilitate today's webinar, and I couldn't be more pleased, really, because the presentation and very cool solution you'll be seeing is a result of a meaningful collaboration with the wonderful, super smart, and innovative colleagues at Inksure, a truly great company and valued alliance of ABBYY. We have just a couple of notes. This event's going to last for 60 minutes, during which you will be in listen-only mode. So when you have questions or even a comment for our presenters, submit them through the question box. Questions will be addressed toward the end of the presentation. We're going to strive to answer all the questions, but if we're unable to get to yours, rest assured we will be reaching out to you afterwards. In addition to the presentation, we're providing several pieces of content available to you for download, and you should be able to see that in the console right here. And lastly, if you experience technical issues, send us a message via the chat box, and we're going to do our best to assist you. Today's session is being recorded, and you'll receive the on-demand version afterwards. Okay, now for the intros. Our experts leading the session today represent 56 years of professional experience. First of all, there's Bill Galusha, my coworker. Bill is a veteran product marketing and product strategist professional with more than 20 years experience. He manages innovative and customer responsive enterprise software products and solutions. And Bill joined ABBYY in March of 2018. He's our Director of Product Marketing, and he's responsible for leading ABBYY's intelligent document processing products and marketing strategy. Also, we have Inkshure's Kyle Morris here. Kyle has more than 20 years experience in the IT industry, and he's responsible for driving long-lasting customer success and growth in Inkshure's new customers and partners in North America. Kyle's passion derives from helping organizations realize and achieve their business outcomes by leveraging digital applications and digital services enabled by best-of-breed technologies. Also from Inksure is Ravi Pattamar. Ravi leads the product management practice at Inksure as Director of Products and Technology and brings more than 16 years experience working with many companies, from startups to multinational companies, leading product development and delivery teams. In addition to a bachelor's in engineering, Ravi has earned a master's in product management and a PMP certification credential from Project Management Institute. And now for the agenda. Kyle is going to first set the stage by delivering the current state of finance and accounting, including the market drivers for process automation and the latest organizational imperatives. Bill will then introduce Skills, a new and innovative approach to processing financial documents and how it's a game changer for automating content-centric processes. And then Ravi will introduce, profile its use in the field, and demonstrate an end-to-end finance hyperautomation solution that incorporates document skills with Inkshure's best-of-breed SAP integrated platform. And then it's question time. Make sure to write in your questions, yes, in the question box as they come. Now, let's check on the pulse of the status of the companies with us today with a poll. Our first poll question is, where is your finance organization in its digital transformation journey? This is for you to answer right here, right now. Are you foundational, which means limited process improvement, basic digitization? Would you consider yourselves transitional, perhaps partial process improvement, but primarily human-driven workflow and maybe automated data entry? Or would you consider yourselves advanced, automating multiple processes, including exceptions and approvals? Or are you a leader in the field where you have full automated processes and purchase to pay, order to cash with limited human involvement? Vote now or forever hold your peace. All right, do we have the results yet? Here we go. Okay, 42% at the foundational level with just limited process improvements. So there's lots and lots of opportunities to gain efficiencies and cut costs. 17% transitional, 33% advanced. Bill, Kyle, Robbie, what do you think of these results?
I'm excited to see that there's so many companies in the leading category, that 8%. That number of full process automation is a little bit higher than I expected to see, but that's encouraging. So yeah, that's an interesting number.
I know a lot of our customers have started or have automated the more common transactional processes, but they really haven't conquered, the more complex or end-to-end cases. This is exciting to see that there's lots of opportunity for improvement. Okay, let's go ahead and start the main presentation with Inkshare's Kyle Morris. Kyle, you're coming to us from Indiana, are you not?
Yes, that's correct, and I reside in Indianapolis, Indiana area, and thank you so much for that and that introduction. So thank you everyone who has joined today and those watching on demand. It's a pleasure to be here and talk through not only Inkshare as well as ABBYY and our partnership and the value that we work with day in and day out to delivering on those outcomes for our customers, as Deanne mentioned. It's something that I'm truly passionate about. So a little bit of background about who Inkshare is and what we believe and how we go to market and work with our customers. So we're a digital applications and products and services company. We work really closely with our SAP partnership that we've had for many, many years. Our founder and CEO is a former SAP employee that founded Inkshare and globally headquartered us in Bangalore, India. Now, obviously, I work for the North American division, but we do have regional across the globe with many customers and many, many applications and solutions. For the most part, those are all on what SAP calls their BTP platform. This is the business technology platform, which is foundational for the innovation and the digital transformation customers journey down moving forward with the SAP and land environments. Our solutions as it relates to the digital applications are branded Cherrywork. So you'll see in the marketplace many applications that are labeled Cherrywork, and today you're going to see one of those that incorporates and we partner with ABBYY on to deliver automation in this space. We have hundreds of employees across the globe, and we work in many different industries, but a lot of our business our applications are line of business focused. We've over the years, won innovation awards for the things that we've done with our customers through SAP's what they call Sapphire, which is their annual event. We're part of their co-innovation lab and a part of their App House network as well. So moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about what are the drivers and some of the things that we see with our customers, as well as what's the industry saying, right? So many customers, and then that's why the poll was very interesting, but many of the customers we see and come across are, and based on the research out there is that have significant challenges with automation. We're seeing over the last few years, this has changed quite a bit as technologies become more and more available and improve for these solutions. But many companies are still trying to navigate and figure out the different business processes to automate, and specifically in the finance and accounting space as around the different invoice processing and PO processing and vendor management and all of those solutions and business processes to automate. Now, as Gartner is showing here, they believe that half of the businesses, basically 50%, as from an invoice perspective, will be automated without manual intervention. Now, there's a few things that we're going to talk about today to make that even possible. As it relates to OCR and different technologies, but and exception handling around those things. But what we're seeing is this is a conversation that we're having more and more, and a lot of customers, especially with the remote workforce and kind of navigating over the last year and a half that all of us have had to do. This is something that's very transformative and very important in front of mind. Moving forward as well, we, as it relates to some of the organizational imperatives that we're seeing, not only from a workforce management and workforce cost and time, but we're seeing that there's a lot of cost around the manual process and the amount of errors. So that's one of the benefits to this digital transformation and these hyperautomation solutions that allow freeing up the time of those individuals to be more effective in their roles, as well as then reducing those number of errors that we see from that manual process. The other piece of this is the lack of visibility, and the SLAs are behind all of that, and the reporting and analytics that we can bring into the table. There's a lot of things that when we automate and when we digitize these business processes, that allows us to transform the end-to-end visibility into the process. So we see a lot of that, and that is an impact to the business process as well, as we see allowing them to see this end-to-end visibility. Now, as a little bit of a research survey from an accounts payable perspective done in 2020, these are some of the top things that we see as challenges, right? So manual data entry, as far as those accounts payable processes, lost, missing invoices, payment matching, duplicate invoices. All of these things are challenges that I'm sure many of you are aware of, both from a business perspective as well as an IT perspective. Just wanted to kind of drive home the point that this is a very common across the marketplace, and this is where the reason why we've partnered with ABBYY to help kind of automate this business process, because we see such a gap and the opportunity to kind of help customers improve their process as well as get a return on their investments. So moving forward, the last thing I wanted to kind of bring here and shed some light on is kind of a little bit of insight into the cost of processing an invoice. This is the research study that was done, and how that changes from a manual process as well as the low transparency. That was that end-to-end visibility. So today, this is on average from research done, you're looking at not only a cost perspective, but then how do we even have visibility into the process to improve that cost and transform how our process can be improved. So how do we even measure that if we can't see over half of that visibility into the process? So this is just kind of highlighting the challenge in front of us and where we can transform the business. And then, the last thing I wanted to bring to light is why work with Insure and ABBYY Why would your organization, your company be interested in having the conversations further with us, right? So, as I mentioned in the beginning, Inkture has many, many years and many applications in the marketplace around prepackaged content that we've delivered on these use cases time and time again, and many examples of value that we've presented to our customers through those applications. So the experience and expertise, not only technical, but functional, that we bring to the table. Again, and the other part of this is like there's many enterprise systems, and every landscape's a little bit different and unique. And we have a lot of experience of tailoring those solutions to the customers around their specific business landscapes, and whether that's BTP, whether that's other hyperscalers, whether that's other enterprise or third-party solutions that are a part of that business process. All of that helps, is an area that we have expertise in to bring all of it together from end to end. And then obviously one of the most important things is that return on investment, and the ability for us to reduce the time to value and bringing in high value use case with your organization through these tools, and automating the products or the processes that impact that impact your day-to-day business. So with that, what I think the next step we're going to do is we're going to go into a second poll and ask some additional questions we'd love for you to participate in. So in this question, we've got in the next year, do you expect spending to increase or decrease on automated content-centric processes in finance? Please respond in the area you kind of see for your organization, whether that's increasing significantly, moderately, slightly less, or decreasing. And while we're waiting on those, we will happy to connect. Obviously, we'll get to some of this stuff later on, but we'll continue to kind of dive deeper into this as we look at both the ABBYY and the Inkture solution here as next steps. Okay, so here we go. We've got the results of this one. All right, so poll results increased significantly, 50%. Okay, so we got 25% of there. We've got increase moderately, 25%. Stay the same. Zero. Look at this. 0 responses on the decrease side. That's exactly what I would expect to see. Hopefully, no one's going backwards, right? And so that's a very encouraging, and that's exciting to see that you've joined us today to kind of learn more about this. So with that, and with those results, I would like to pass it to Bill over at ABBYY. He's going to take us from here and talk about the ABBYY Intelligent Document Processing. Bill, over to you.
Great, thanks, Kyle. And the polling is interesting. So clearly, companies are investing in automation as it relates to document-centric processes. So that kind of really tees up what I'm going to talk about, which is really around the intelligent document processing part of the solution that ABBYY delivers, and what you'll see later is integrated into the Inkture solution, showing you a complete end-to-end automation. But the intelligent document processing piece is obviously an important part to any type of project involving automation of documents. Conceptually, it's not a new concept. The technology has been around for years, but clearly the technology has advanced quite rapidly in recent years, particularly around OCR, machine learning, and other technology that is able to put unstructured data into structured, actionable information. But what's really changed in the market, what we've seen is really what enterprises are looking for. Historically, intelligent document processing technology was relegated to small teams of individual users who were kind of the experts with all the knowledge and understanding of how the technology works. But what you'll see today is that what ABBYY has introduced recently is really addressing a need in the market, which is companies looking to move off of old legacy systems that are very outdated, complex, and really looking for a platform that provides ease of use and really can support the driving factors within large automation teams within an enterprise. So really what we're seeing is companies wanting to adopt the technology, but really put it into the hands of more users within the automation teams, so that you can not only just automate processes, say within finance and accounting, but really what you have is an enterprise platform that is adaptable and easy to connect into other systems and processes within other areas of your business. So you're going to see today is really what is an innovative approach, different than a lot of the niche products that you'll see out there that talk about intelligent document processing. And you'll clearly see the integration. So what we show you with the integration between ABBYY's product and Insure's solution and how it seamlessly integrates, you'll be quite impressed by how it all comes together. But the reality is it starts with a document. So you have a document and there's data in that document. And that, in this case, obviously we're talking about finance and accounting. So that's everything from invoices to purchase orders to receipts to documents related to onboarding a supplier, managing vendors. The list goes on and on. There's many other types of documents I'm sure that you're struggling with in terms of processing, and you have humans that are essentially doing the work, which is going back to the polling survey that was noted earlier by Kyle, is a lot of what's driving people to automate document processes, to eliminate manual work, speed up processes, and reap the benefits of faster straight-through processing of content. Our response to that is we have a skill for that, and really by what we mean by a skill is think of a document as data that you want to structure, and how do you structure that data in that document? Well, you train a skill, create a model for very specific documents like invoices, purchase orders, and receipts. What ABBYY is bringing to market and has recently announced and is generally available today is a marketplace that hosts several pre-trained, pre-built skills for all different types of documents, and documents that not only cover finance and accounting, but also cover other industries and use cases. The benefit of this in terms of your digital transformation strategy is you can start now. It gives you the ability to start processing your documents right away, so you're not starting from ground zero building projects. You're not focusing in on developing these skills, these models, because that's been done and they're available within the marketplace. And the benefit is that it really accelerates your projects and enables the automation teams to not only focus on kind of those low-hanging projects that you might have, the processes, whether it's invoices or purchase orders, but also focus on other areas of the finance and accounting area, as well as expanding into other business areas as well. So it's really as simple as, within the ABBYY environment, it's as simple as uploading a document, having the system identify what type of a document is, apply the appropriate skill. So if it was an invoice, and you'll see this in the demonstration later, is if it's an invoice, it will identify it as an invoice and process it accordingly. The platform, which is the new ABBYY Vantage platform, can be invoked from any different application. So in the case of Insure, it connects to the new Vantage platform, passes the information, the documents, and gets the data back in a structured format that is filled into their workflow process, and you'll see how that runs through. So this approach is really is innovative. As I mentioned before, historically, capture technology required a deep understanding and a lot of expertise. But with the new the new platform, the ABBYY Vantage platform, the marketplace, really what we're delivering to enterprise customers is these consumable, ready-to-go skills that can digitize text within the document, be able to identify what type of a document regardless of the variation, as well as being able to extract information and validate that data. That really is kind of this next level of automation to document processing. The other thing that is keen to point out is it's really designed for a new type of user. So it fits well within the Inkster solution, providing kind of this no-code, low-code approach. And it also uses and utilizes the latest ABBYY's intelligence technology for building these skills, these models, using machine learning and other technology that enable us to train and really perfect the accuracy around documents. And a good example is invoices, because invoices can come, you can have thousands and thousands of variations of an invoice. So we've actually created the invoice skill, the model, to be able to generalize and understand many different invoices, regardless of the structure, the layout, the complexity, how many pages, all of that is factored into the intelligence of that skill. So what we'll be showing you today is really some of the invoice or the finance and accounting skills that we provide within the marketplace and the Vantage product. But just to give you an idea, I mean, if you can go out and you check out the marketplace, and that's marketplace.abby.com, you will see there are other document skills and other technology assets out there ready to go that you can easily download, bring into your environment of Vantage, and begin trying out with your own documents. This list will grow considerably over the next several months as ABBYY builds out more skills, and many of our partners as well build out skills to be able to understand and process documents across different industries and use cases. So this kind of just ties right back into what Kyle was mentioning earlier in terms of, you know, what's driving companies to invest. It's the results that they can get from it. So if you look at just, you know, the costs associated with invoices, and that's just one particular use case, the efficiency gains that our customers see are significant. So you're talking about responding much quicker, fewer late payments, significantly faster processing of invoices, and upwards of 99% recognition accuracy. So accuracy is often the question that most people ask. You know, how do you recognize invoices from different vendors? Well, as I mentioned, we train these skills to understand the different invoices. And then from an accuracy standpoint, it's not just the raw text that we read from a document, but it's also the business rules and logic, the matching of data, as well as all the rules that are driven through within the Inkster solution as well too, and you'll see some of that. But the benefits are quite significant. It is a quick ROI, and when you combine that with kind of the new platform that provides a no-code, low-code approach, the speed at which you can deploy a project around invoice processing is significantly faster these days. So before we transition over to talking about the Inkster Cherryworks solution, I think we're going to throw up another poll question here and see where people are with what types of solutions they're looking for. So the question is, what imperatives do you look for in solutions? The answers are low code, no code, cloud. That's certainly very important to a lot of enterprise companies these days. Is it the technology like AI, ML, and what other technology it has? Or if you're an SAP customer, are you looking for solutions that are SAP certified? So take a few seconds and respond, and we'll see what the results are. All right, if we could close the poll. And yeah, not surprising, the 33%, 33%. Between those are the two I would have picked as well. Is the low code, no code. This is all part of the whole hyper automation, market in terms of solutions that enterprises are looking for. And obviously SAP certified. What you're going to see today is an SAP, a solution built around SAP that involves both the ABBYY platform and Inkster platform. So good to see that we're seeing a lot of the same things that folks have said here. So I'm going to turn it over to our next presenter, Ravi, and I'm going to go ahead and give him control. So Ravi, the floor is yours.
Hey, hi, Bill. Thanks a lot. I hope I'm audible and you can see my screen.
Yes, you're good. Yep.
Great. Nice to see the polls result. I think it's aligned with what we are going to show now, and happy to see that customers are looking at SAP-based solutions, right? I think that's a good segue to talk about the solution what we have built. Which is part of our digital application suite, what we call with the brand Cherrywork. So it is the largest digital application suite built on top of SAP. It is developed along with SAP for SAP customers, right? So if you see, SAP today covers almost most of about 80% or a little bit more of the core processes, core business processes, right? Which we are all familiar with, pretty strong and pretty good there. But there are some areas, or the 20% of areas, what we call, where there is a gap which we try to fill with our offering, and that's where the Cherrywork suite of applications come in. And these are some of the different applications what we have built. You can find a lot of them already available in SAP App Store under the brand Cherrywork, as well as in Inkster website under our product portfolio. So if you look at it, right, these solutions are pre-packaged. They are working on top of SAP. They have a very good integration with SAP. You will see one of the use cases today. They have a good user experience and mobility is built in. They're all either having a respective mobile applications or are responsive and can be used across the mobile. Basically, they provide the lower total cost of ownership for the business. That's the whole value proposition there. And if I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on those, so we are talking about four key things here, which is the comprehensiveness, which is basically a suite of pre-packaged solutions which are built along with SAP for SAP customers. That's the key here. Our solutions integrate seamlessly with SAP. These are complementary on top of SAP. So we, like I said, we address that gap or the 20% of the white space which exists today. These are powered by SAP BTP Business Technology Platform, right? So they have integrations and coming in out of the box, and they help you to keep your core SAP system clean without much customization. So these are the four main key reasons why you should look at it. And now it's time, I think we should see how we have done it. One of the applications, what we're going to talk about today is automating the accounts payable process. This application is called Cherrywork Accounts Payable. So here we are trying to automate the accounts payable process and make it as much as possible a touchless process. That's the whole objective. And we are leveraging ABBYY and its experience in the document intelligence and processing for this. All right. So if you look at the whole process, it starts with the suppliers. who are giving us who are giving the business the invoices to process from different channels, right? So these channels today can be many. We are talking about channels like supplier portals, information coming through email, the invoices coming through email, physical invoices, or else coming in through some EDI. So these are the invoice channels. Our solution handles multiple channels of invoice submission. In the demo, we will show you one of the channel, which is email based, but it also supports other channel. So once the invoices are, so we have built in some kind of a AI RPA in here, which helps us to validate the invoices. We call it as pre-filtering. Even before it's going into the processing phase, we check the invoice and any compliance or anything which is wrong, we highlight it there only, so that the whole load on the invoice processing, we can control it and we can have a faster turnaround there. So then once you come in, this is where the magic happens, which is the transformation phase. Here we do the invoice recognition. We are today leveraging ABBYY Vantage, one of the top offerings from and the new offering from ABBYY. So this helps us to with the AI and the intelligent capabilities built in, helps us to process almost any type of invoice, from printed to a manual invoice to read, and we can leverage on top of that some RPA capabilities to make sure that we address more as much as possible the whole touchless processing, right? So that's the whole objective here, and all of that gets stored into some kind of a document repository. So for those invoices, again, we have to be realistic, and we cannot achieve 100%. There will be cases where we might end up having some exceptions to handle. Maybe the file is wrong or some information is wrong, etc. So those will come into a workbench what we have in the solution. That's part of the verification and completion process, where we have the accounts payable business team who's going to be looking at these invoices. There again, we have a built-in automation piece here, which helps validate. We have a three-way match, two-way match, and other fraud detection techniques built in with our fuzzy logic on top of it, which helps to identify these invoices and give required suggestions and recommendations to the business team, who can take a respective corrective action. And wherever there is a requirement for some kind of a collaboration in terms of back and forth discussions, we have a capability to initiate a new task and workflow which we can configure in the system. Post that, assuming we are able to take care of this exception, we go to the next step, which is posting of the invoice, where we have integrations built into the SAP, which allows us to have these invoices posted and a reference number generated through that. And this can be used for audit purpose and tracking, which goes to the final step of the process, which is basically the payment, where we can leverage the whole bank transfer to the cash discounting and other payment related requirements to make sure that the supplier gets the payment in the right amount of time. So all this is leveraging the three-way match, two-way match, and other capabilities, which we can handle multiple different types of invoices from PO to non-PO and other different varieties. All right. So this is the whole solution. It works with has a pre-built integration to the SAP core system on ECC as well as HANA. So basically, if I have to then summarize what are the key components, so across the 3 steps of the process, which is the invoice ingestion, invoice processing, and invoice submission, these are the key capabilities what we're talking about. Some of the things which I could highlight would be the supplier portal, which we can have supplier where suppliers can send invoices and upload invoices, track the statuses to the RPA engine, which is going to help us to enhance the accuracy as well as or manage the overall turnaround time, to the exhaustive 2-way and 3-way matching capabilities of the workbench, which allows the business team, the accounts payable team, to identify and also recommend where the error is and what is the action which he can take, to integration to SAP and payment handling. So this is the overall pieces of the puzzle. All this managed by a workbench. So today in the demo, you will see some of these capabilities shown, where we are leveraging some of the capabilities along with the ABBYY Vantage solution. Okay. With that, I think it's time where we can jump into the demonstration, where we will actually log into the solution. So let me unshare my presentation and jump right into the product. So here we will initiate a scenario where we are sending a invoice, an email invoice as a supplier. We're sending an invoice to the business to the business. We'll initiate that process and see from there where it goes. So I will also log into our accounts payable module. So let's say we have a ABBYY automation. Yeah. So we have a email box which we can use to send the invoices. This can be a email inbox which can be configured for your respective business. This is again a configuration possible. So let's say I'm sending an invoice. Please process this invoice. So now I'm gonna be attaching the invoice. Let's say I'm gonna be okay, so this is the invoice which we will be sending in right now. It's a sample invoice where we have manually made some errors to pop in so that we can see how it's going to look in our workbench and take the action accordingly. So I'm going to be sending this invoice to process. So let's see. Now I'm going to be getting a response back informing of this being reading. So in the meantime, let me log into the solution. Okay, let me log into the solution. I'm logging in as an accounts payable executive into the solution. Okay, maybe let me log in from the private window just to be on the safer side. Okay, so I'm going to go into my workbench. So here you can see I have now 696 is the task, and as you can see, yeah. So so I think I sent it to the wrong email ID. AP automation demo. Yeah, this should be the email ID. Okay, so we're gonna send it. So now it'll read. So I got a response back, meaning that I've got the email is received. So this is the invoice which we sent, which has an error which we have set in where we have modified the description. You will see in the purchase order where the description is going to be different. So that's going to be a manual error which we have put it in the solution. So right now it's at 696. So we'll have a new task which is going to come in. So let me log back in just to be. Okay. So yeah, it takes a couple of minutes for the invoice to come in. Okay, so we have selected two types of processes here. Till it comes in, let's give it a minute for the process to happen. What we have selected is an automatic process, which is basically it's gonna in the back end, it's gonna read the ABBYY skill, which is in this case invoice US, and automatically if it is able to match, it's going to make a process, it's going to directly process it as a touchless process, and if there is any exception, only then it's going to come into the workbench for the process to see. So now let's see, I think it should be done now. Yeah, so we go in, we can see the invoice has come in. I can see the details of it. I can have a match done. I have an ability to check the amount, match the amount, all of this. So this is just an example of how the workbench will look. If I could go back and see. This is how your invoice workbench will look. So we have a filter available here where we can use different filter criterias to filter for a respective invoice. Here I can select by invoice type of invoice or non-PO based or PO or non-PO based invoices. And I can process it, I can look at it, all of that, what is available. So here is the search window available. So it's an exhaustive search, what you will see here, where I can go back and look at the search again. Okay, so yeah, let's take this invoice itself. So I can have an option here, so I can look at all the details. I have an ability to see the purchase or the scanned invoice here, and this is how the scanned invoice has come. I have an ability to see the purchase order also here. where I can actually see the purchase order and see how the different fields are. I can do the comparison manually if required, and I have an ability to do a three-way match in this, so which I can initiate. And if the match is successful, I'm going to get a successful message, and then I can even submit it. This is where I will be doing a posting to SAP. This system is integrated into the SAP system, so we can get a reference number of the invoice getting posted, and this is visible for us to in our audit purpose. So I can go back into my workbench. So I'll log off. I'll look at another scenario where we will now see how we are going to call the ABBYY solution. So I'm going to initiate a new invoice to process. So AP automation demo. Okay, so I'm going to be here. We will now call the ABBYY OCR engine and ABBYY Advantage and see how we can use that and complete the process. So I'm going to be using that. Please process this invoice. Okay, so I'm going to be attaching a similar invoice just to be showing the process. So okay, let me take this invoice. It is a similar invoice. Again, we have made an error so that it fails and it comes to the exception handling, and I'm sending it to process. So let me send it. I got a response back, at least that it is got the email. So now this is a manual process what we are showing right now. So here we can here you will see now in a couple of minutes where we can leverage and show you how ABBYY Vantage can be called inside the solution. So the idea, the use case here is that let's say a supplier sends an invoice to process, and we can send him the link back after the scanning of the invoice, so that the user can actually log in and see whether the system is able to read all the details or not. So in this case, I've got a link back as a supplier. I can click on this link and it will take me to ABBYY. I just need to log in. So let me now log into the ABBYY. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll have to get a I will have to log in. Okay, so maybe this is the password. Nope. Yeah, so yeah, password is the issue. So now we have logged into the ABBYY. This is the ABBYY Vantage, the latest release solution from ABBYY. This is how the scanning is usually done. So you can see all the different fields which the solution is able to, which you are mapped and able configured for it to pick up. You can see how those fields are captured here. This gives a second layer of validation for the business or to the supplier to make sure that if the invoice what he or she has sent is read correctly or not. If there is any change required, he or she can change it here. All the fields are red, including the item details section. So we can even go ahead and look at those tables and make sure that whether the information which is captured is correct or not. So this validation can be done and I can look at the multiple fields here, like business unit or the vendor, and I realize that the vendor details are not captured. Vendor name is not captured, so I can actually train the system right now itself to say that pick it up from here. So I can even do this, and yeah. So I can select the field. I can then go and say uh, this is the vendor details. All right. Sorry, I'll just do it again. So I can select the vendor details here, and it can pick it up, and then I can complete the task. And if that is correct, I can look at it, or I can manually update it if there is anything required. So it's now captured the right field. I can then validate it and I can complete the task. So this is a double checking what we can do, and Vantage gives us this flexibility that this UI is available for the end user to see, and it, as you can see, it's pretty easy to use. So now the task is completed from the Vantage side. So let's log back into the solution and see.
Okay, we're almost out of time, so let's see the results here.
Yeah. So you got the new invoice coming in here. All the fields have been coming in, and you can see the field. It's also highlighted that it's missed this is an error, and I can actually go back into the purchase order and see that the purchase order has a full continuous name, and my invoice had an issue. I can actually open the PDF and actually see that, oh, there was an error. I can change it. I can manually update this, or I can go to an item match and manually say to it that this is matched to this. I can do that. Now, once that is done, everything should be good. I can do a three-way match to make sure everything is good. And if it's all is good, I can submit it, and then it should have a posting on SAP. And I should get a reference number back of the confirmation. Okay, so this completes the whole flow. So as you can see, the solution tries to complete it as much as possible through as a touchless process. But wherever it's required, we have an exception workbench which can be used to handle those exceptions. I would now jump into Q&A.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Ravi. That was a great demo. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time though, so we're not going to be able to address the Q&A. But the good news is we're going to put something together and distribute it so everybody will be able to see the questions and thorough answers the questions that came about during this session. And so you'll hear from us soon with a follow-up. If you'd like to reach out to us directly, you may do so. You can email us at intelligence@abby.com or info@inkshare.com, and we're happy to engage with you one-on-one. We look forward to hearing from you. We'd love to hear from you and learn about your particular environment. With that, we want to be respectful to everybody's time. We're really pleased that you were able to join us today. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone, and have a great day.